Oh man, do I have a story to tell you guys today. The way that I can describe this story, this experience, is probably the worst possible encounter I've ever had with a teacher through school. Just the worst possible encounter really with any human being ever in my whole entire 18 years of existence. I've never met a person like Mr. Dickhead, and I doubt any of you have. And you know, I did make a video explaining this story just like this about a little over a year ago, but I didn't really like the way I portrayed it in that video, like one that just was really badly produced. Like the lighting, the mic, the camera, the music, like it was all just really poorly put together. I didn't really have any experience making videos like this back then. All I really would do was just cut commentaries on VO2 back then. Literally, that's all I would do. So now I feel like this is a good time to retell the story. I made a video a few days ago asking if you guys wanted to hear it. I got a lot of tweets, a lot of comments, a lot of people wanted to see it. If you guys don't want to see it, you know, you don't want to hear the story, you already heard it, you don't have to watch the video. But if you do, buckle up, because this one's a little crazy. So what you need to know before I get into this is that I was originally born in Arizona. I lived in Arizona all the way up until 5th grade. And then I moved to Pennsylvania right before 6th grade started. Me and my family, we all packed up and we moved right outside of Philly. And I was actually super bummed about that at the time because I had a lot of friends in Arizona, and then I had a basketball league that I played in that I just loved. And then once you became a 6th grader at the school I went to, you were like eligible to play in this like basketball tournament with other schools. And normally that was something that you weren't able to do until like middle school, so everyone thought that was the coolest thing ever. But I moved to Pennsylvania and we ended up living there for all of 6th grade and 3/4 of 7th grade. Right before the 3rd quarter ended in school, me and my family packed up and we moved back to Arizona. And we moved back, we got all settled in, we moved into our house, we got all our rooms put together, all our boxes unpacked, everything like that. And we waited about like a week and a half until we actually went to school. And I still remember my first day at this new school was early on in the week, and there was only a few days left of the 3rd quarter. So when I came to class, the majority of my teachers, they were like, hey, you know, this is the class, this is what our class does, you know, you sit here, you know, just relax the rest of the week, don't worry about doing any work or anything. For the most part, they just told me to try to get to know the people who I sat next, you know, make some friends. They'd give me like an occasional worksheet here and there, but nothing really. And that was what most of my teachers said, you know, most of my teachers just told me to relax, you know, I'd start really doing work on Monday when the new quarter started, because there's really no point of me having any grades entered for the 3rd quarter when I was only there for 3 days, except for my math teacher. And you know what we're gonna call him? We're gonna call him Mr. Dickhead. Mr. fucking Dickhead. This guy, you know, I come to class and it's just, you know, kind of that feeling of depression as soon as you walk into the classroom. Like, you just look around and you see everyone just hating their life. And I go in and I introduce myself to the guy introduces himself to me, you know, blah blah blah. He tells me this is where I sit, this is what we're working on, and he gives me this packet, this really big fucking packet. I don't know, it was like 4 chapters out of this math book split into like 8 different sections for each chapter. So it was a disgustingly big packet. And you know, the class that I was in, this math class, they all have been, you know, working on this packet together for weeks. You know, the teacher maybe walks them through a few problems in the beginning of the class, and then the rest of the class they just work on it with each other, go up, ask the teacher questions, blah blah blah. And they've been doing this for weeks, and I was there for 3 days. And he gives me the packet and he's like, you know what, don't worry about it, just get done what you can. If you have any questions, come talk to me, ask people around you. And I'm like, you know, whatever, maybe the teacher's a little bit more strict, he just wants me to be working on something instead of just sitting around doing nothing. And out of the whole packet, out of like the whole whatever how many pages it was, I knew about like 2 of like the 20 pages in this packet, because the math that I was learning in Pennsylvania was completely different than this. And I didn't really go up and ask him questions about the packet because I literally didn't know the whole thing, and I was like, you know what, he's not gonna expect me to finish this, there's no real point, he just wants me to be doing some busy work. Wrong. So you know, 2 days later, it's Friday, it's the last day of the 3rd quarter. I'm going through my classes, I'm like, hell yeah, it's Friday, I get to go home and I get to play WWE SmackDown vs. Raw after this all weekend. And I get to my math class and I see on the board like quarter 3 final test, like chapters X through Y, or whatever the chapters were. I don't know what the chapters were. And I'm like, oh, you know, whatever, like, you know, they'll just take a test, I'll just probably sit over here and relax on my phone, then go to lunch. Wrong. I go sit down in my seat, I pull my packet out of my backpack, you know, I just put it down, act like I'm doing something before he hands out all the tests. And he's coming around, you know, making sure everyone has their stuff done, you know, he's collecting them, giving them points. And then he comes to me, and he's like, Alex, you know, you don't have this packet done. And I'm like, no fucking shit, I don't. That is not what I said. If I could go back, that's what I would say easily. I just told him like I didn't know it, you know, I've only been in this class, in this school for in this state for 3 days, dude. Just trying to remind him of that. And he told me that he didn't care how long I've been in the classroom for. He said on the board for the past like however many weeks it says packet due on this date. And he told me I don't have it done. And I didn't really know what to say at this point. I didn't really know what to say at this point. I thought this was like some kind of sick joke. I thought like he was just messing with me, you know, just a funny little teacher. Wrong. So he takes my packet, writes a huge fat 0 on it, and then he brings me to the back of the classroom. And he's like, you know what, we have a policy in this classroom. Students that don't complete their homework have to get a call home. What? And at this point, I was just in complete disbelief. I didn't really know how to respond. I was just like, okay, I don't know my mom's number because we just moved in our house a week and a half ago. So and then he gave me attitude back. He was like, oh, how do you not know your own number, blah blah blah, you know, here's a pass, go to the administration, go find your number in the directory or whatever and bring it back to me. If I was a capable thinking human being back then in 7th grade, because I really did not know what was going on, to be completely honest with you, I would have just went off on Mr. Dickhead in front of my whole entire class, because that is something that I've always wanted to do. Whenever a teacher's, you know, talking down to you, disrespecting you because of their position, that is the worst, and it makes me so angry, you know. And if that were to happen today, I would, like, in front of the whole class, I would just go off on this teacher, fucking roast. It'd be a little live roast session in front of the whole class. You know, I was stupid. I didn't really know what was going on. I just did what he said, and I started walking down toward administration, which, by the way, I had no idea where administration was, because this is my 3rd day at this brand new middle school, and this middle school was huge compared to my old one. Oh, I was walking around in circles for probably like 10 minutes, and then I found like a security guard. I was like, hey, you know, do you know where this place is? And they pointed me in the direction. I go down there, and it takes them like 10 minutes to get my number out of the directory because I just got entered in. The lady writes my number down on a little sticky note. I go in, I bring it to Mr. Dickhead. Mr. Dickhead calls my mother in front of the whole class. Hey, Nancy, your son didn't do his math packet. Just thought I'd let you know. Here, have some words with him. And then he passes me the phone. I was like, hey mom, I didn't do the math at the time. I didn't know what was happening. I still did not comprehend all of this. Hey mom, I'm sorry I didn't do the math assignment, but this fucking dickhead did tell me shit. He didn't teach me shit. And now he's giving me a 0, and he's making me call you in front of the whole class. And I just wanted to let you know that he's a huge asshole. And then I give the phone back to him politely and go sit down. But instead he called her, I said what I said, he hung up the phone, and that's not it. That is not the end of the story. There's about 5, maybe 10 minutes left in the class period because, you know, of everything that happened, how he checked everyone's homework, you know, he pulled me aside, he made me go down to administration, he made me call me. And after that, I'm like, okay, whatever, it's over. I'll just talk to my mom about it when I get home. I'll explain to her my side of the story, what's going on. And then he hands me the test that I know nothing about, that he taught me nothing about. And keep in mind, this class has been learning this material for weeks, almost probably months. I wouldn't be surprised if it was longer. And he tells me you have 10 minutes left in the class period, complete what you can and then hand it in to me. Out of this huge test, I completed about 3.5 of the 50 questions, and I ended up with a 0% F for one of the 7 classes that I was taking in the 3rd quarter in that 7th grade. Go online and check my grades, and it would be like 3rd quarter, nothing, 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 F, 0%, nothing, nothing, nothing. Because of Mr. fucking Mr. Dickhead, if you're watching this, go fuck yourself. And you know what's really funny? I still get tweets to this day, like, people know what middle school I went to. I don't know how people know what middle school I went to. Maybe they don't. Maybe they just know that I live in this area. They'll tweet at me and they'll be like, hey man, I had this math teacher in 7th grade who seems a lot like Mr. Dickhead. And then they'll tweet me his name and it'll actually be him. It will be the real Mr. Dickhead. He is still there. He's still teaching. And you know, there's a bunch of other little things that happen that I can tell you guys, but right now I'm gonna go work on my 2nd video of the day. I took a little break from the Black Ops 3 beta, now it's time to get back at it. But anyways guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your opinion is on this situation, on Mr. Dickhead, in the comments below. And also, if you guys want more one-on-one stories like this where I sit here and I just explain crazy things that have happened to me in my life to you, let me know. Drop a like. Anyways guys, it's been Alex or FaZe Zap. I will see you guys all later. Peace out.